Strange, unusual and weird taxes throughout history, Part 1. Number 1. Did you know that the IRS specifically asks you to report any income from illegal activities, such as dealing drugs or stolen property? Of course that would be rating out yourself, but you are protected by the Constitution, therefore, one has the option of reporting it as other income. 2. In ancient Egypt, cooking oil was taxed as fat tax. This is one of the oldest known taxes. People were not allowed to reuse fat or cooking oil alternatives, so that they had no choice but to buy it, because it was sold only by the pharaoh's monopoly. 3. Money does not stink is a Latin saying, but during the 1st century AD, Roman Emperor Vespasian placed a tax on urine. The urine from public urinals was sold as an essential ingredient for several chemical processes, like tanning or washing togas. Number 4. The Kingdom of Travancore, located in South India, placed a head tax named Mulakaram, commonly known as the breast tax. The tax was imposed on only lower caste communities if they covered their upper body, because lower caste individuals were not allowed to wear upper garments in public until 1859. The aim of tax was to ensure that the lower class women did not resemble upper class women. 5. In ancient Rome, if a master allowed, a slave can earn his freedom by working and earning more, and when he's freed, he has to pay tax for being free. 6. During the Middle Ages, many European governments placed a tax on soap. It remained for centuries. As time passed, many countries removed soap from luxury items, but Great Britain didn't repeal its soap tax until 1835. 3. In 1705, Russian Emperor Peter the Great placed a tax on beards, hoping to force men to adopt the clean-shaven look that was common in Western Europe at the time. The French king imposed a salt tax called the gabelle, which angered many people and became one of the contributing factors to the French Revolution. In 1885, Canada created the Chinese head tax, which taxed the entry of Chinese immigrants into Canada. The tax lasted until 1923, when a law was passed. The law was banning Chinese people from entering Canada altogether. King Henry I allowed knights that they can avoid participating in war, but by paying a tax called scutage, commonly known as cowardice tax. Oliver Cromwell placed a tax on royalists, who were his political opponents, taking 1/10 of their property. He then used that money to fund his activities that were aimed against the royalists. In 1710, the English government dramatically raised taxes on playing cards and dice. This led to widespread forgeries of playing cards to avoid paying taxes. In 1765, the Parliament of Great Britain passed the Stamp Act, which mandated that all legal documents, permits, commercial contracts, newspapers, wills, pamphlets, and playing cards in the American colonies carry a tax stamp. This act marked the initial stage toward the American Revolution. Subsequently, the Tea Act, granting the East India Company complete control over the tea business, is considered one of the final catalysts in this sequence of events. In 1660, England placed a tax on fireplaces. The tax led to people covering their fireplaces with bricks to conceal them and avoid paying the tax. It was repealed in 1689, but implemented a window tax, that means taxing houses based on the number of windows they had, that led to many houses having very few windows. Eventually this became a health problem and ultimately led to the tax's repeal in 1851. In the 1700s, England placed a tax on bricks. Builders started using bigger bricks, and thus fewer bricks to pay less tax. Soon after, the government caught on and placed a larger tax on bigger bricks. Bricks tax repealed in 1850. In 1712, England placed a tax on printed wallpaper. Builders avoided the tax by hanging plain wallpaper and then painting patterns on the walls. In Pakistan and some other South Asian countries, there is a monthly tax known as the TV license fee, applicable to every household, regardless of TV ownership, even places like mosques, churches, or shops. To simply put, if you have electricity, you're required to pay the TV tax. Many countries impose a sin tax, which is an excise tax targeting goods considered harmful to society, including alcohol, tobacco, drugs, candies, soft drinks, fast foods, coffee, sugar, gambling, and pornography. Every country had their own items specified as sin tax. In the U.S. state of Arkansas, body piercings, pet grooming, and gutter cleaning are all subject to a 6% sales tax. Meanwhile, in Iowa, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, pumpkins are taxed if intended for decoration and not for eating.